While scrolling through social media on the subway, I came across a viral post after breaking up with my crush. I stuffed 3 used condoms into his coat pocket. Hope his girlfriend finds them and dumps his ass soon. Hee hee. I forwarded the post to my boyfriend Ethan, who was working overtime. And we both roasted it. Ethan quipped, "Cheating bastards deserve castration." But that night, I found a box of used condoms in his trench coat. Exactly 3. After exiting the subway, I called Ethan. It rang endlessly before he answered hoarsely. "What's up, babe? Just miss you suddenly." He'd called me babe since we started dating. At first it made me blush, but now it felt like warm honey dripping into my ears. Ethan chuckled, the sound raspy. "You're overthinking that stupid post again, aren't you? Probably some influencer farming clicks. Let me wrap up here and come home early, okay?" His words were interrupted by a woman's coquettish whine. "Ethan, you promised no taking calls from other girls when we're together." My grip tightened on the phone. "Who was that?" "Just some annoying coworker," Ethan replied smoothly, though his voice sounded unnaturally strained. "She thinks it's funny to joke around when people are on personal calls. Don't mind her. Then stay away from her." "Why? Jealous?" His teasing tone made my cheeks flush. Before I could retort, the woman's giggle pierced through. "Well, you did just take my..." The line muffled abruptly, like someone covered the receiver. After agonizing seconds, Ethan sighed. "Babe, I swear I just borrowed some snacks from her because I was starving." She's being dramatic. The romantic mood shattered. Though he explained, an uneasy knot remained in my stomach. I coldly acknowledged his excuse and reiterated the boundary. Hanging up, I compulsively reopened the viral post. The OP had updated with a pinned photo showing the corner of a navy pinstripe suit jacket, identical to what Ethan wore today. Ethan came home at 10:30 p.m., hours earlier than usual. He rushed to embrace me the moment he entered, but his coat reeked of cloying jasmine perfume. I don't wear perfume. Ethan doesn't either. Our laundry detergent smells like gardenias. The scent of Ethan's cologne was overpowering, almost pungent. I wrinkled my nose and pushed him away irritably. "Did some woman wear your clothes?" Ethan froze mid-motion, sniffing his suit jacket. He shrugged. "No way. My clothes are for my wife only. This smells from that chatty colleague I told you about earlier, the one who sprays enough perfume to choke the whole department. Her desk's right next to mine." He peeled off his striped navy blazer with visible annoyance. "If it bothers you, I'll have HR relocate her tomorrow. Department heads can do that. You know." I remained silent, staring at the crumpled jacket he'd hung on the entryway rack. Oblivious to my distraction, Ethan wrapped his arms around me again, nuzzling my neck. "You always smell perfect," he murmured, "like fresh gardenias." I stood on the office balcony for 20 minutes trying to air out that perfume stench before coming home. Nearly froze my ass off. And here you are giving me the 3rd degree instead of. His uncharacteristic chatter set off alarms. Normally exhausted after overtime, he'd collapse into bed without conversation, dismissing my attempts to talk with mumbled excuses about work fatigue. I'd always understood until tonight. My gaze kept drifting to that damned jacket. Before realizing it, I found myself standing before the coat rack, fingers brushing the wool fabric. What was I doing? Playing jealous housewife? After 3 steadying breaths, I plunged my hand into the pocket. The opened condom box hit me like a gut punch. 3 missing. My hands shook as recent memories surfaced. Ethan's sudden consideration about my HPV shots reducing our intimacy. His new restraint during moments we used to lose ourselves. His careful for your health explanations now reeked of deception. The living room clock's ticking amplified as my ragged breathing echoed. 3. 3. 3. The number hammered through my skull with each heartbeat. The item in my hand was identical to the one described in that forum post. Staring at the revolting object, I felt the last thread of sanity in my mind snap with an audible twang, leaving only static noise. My hands moved mechanically as I returned it to its hiding place, my body operating on autopilot as I collapsed onto the couch. 5 years. 5 fucking years of our relationship hung in the balance. Yet I could only sit there hollow-eyed while the shower ran. When the bathroom door clicked open, every fiber of me wanted to confront Ethan about his betrayal. But my limbs felt like lead weights, and the laugh that escaped my throat sounded foreign even to me. How absurd that mere hours ago, this same man had joked about castrating cheaters over dinner. Now he'd become the protagonist of every infidelity horror story, with me as the clueless supporting character. The pieces clicked together with cruel clarity. His raspy "Are you jealous?" this morning hadn't been directed at me. Those bedroom eyes I'd mistaken for sleepiness weren't from fatigue. And like some pathetic joke, I'd actually gone to buy him cold medicine earlier. My stomach churned violently as Ethan emerged shirtless, water droplets glistening on his collarbone. Shoving past him, I barely made it to the toilet before retching. His panicked footsteps followed immediately. "Emily, we're going to the ER right now." Ethan's arms wrapped around me, his scent of cedar shampoo suddenly nauseating. I twisted free, muttering something about overeating spicy takeout. The concern etching his features made my chest constrict. How could he cradle another woman's hips last night yet fuss over my upset stomach today? When I recoiled from his touch, confusion flashed across his face. I watched through numb fascination as his fingers twitched toward his jacket pocket, that familiar towel when he craved nicotine. But true to his promise, he simply brought me ginger tea before retreating to the balcony. The metallic clang of his lighter case hitting glass froze us both. Through the sliding door, I saw Ethan's tanned face drain of color as he stared at the little silver box I'd strategically left visible. His Adam's apple bobbed as he re-entered the living room. "You saw it?" His whisper trembled like autumn leaves. The fruit knife clattered at his bare feet, its blade catching the lamplight. In that suspended moment, our reflections in the stainless steel showed two strangers where lovers once stood. Ethan had clearly forgotten what he said 2 hours earlier. Staring at me with confusion, my expression darkened gradually. When I spoke, my heart felt like being sawed by a blunt blade, mangled flesh and trembling voice. "You forgot your own words this quickly?" Ethan suddenly remembered something, his lips twitching slightly. He bent to pick up the fruit knife from the floor. When he straightened up, all traces of guilt had vanished from his face. Ethan chuckled, walking over to me. After placing the knife beyond my reach, he settled beside me. "Babe, you don't actually think I cheated, do you? Is this about that forum post?" "I'm being framed." Ethan claimed the item in his coat pocket must have been planted by a colleague, Emma, that co-worker he couldn't stand. Through his explanation, I learned Emma often crossed boundaries with inappropriate jokes and pranks targeting male coworkers. Though he'd tried avoiding her, she kept slipping past his defenses. His flimsy excuses nearly convinced even himself by the end. He pulled out his phone, offering to confront Emma immediately. Confrontation? What good would that do? If Ethan wanted to hide things, they'd simply coordinate their stories. But Emma was different. She'd planted evidence wanting me to discover their connection. Too cowardly to challenge me directly, yet scheming behind my back. This meant Ethan still leaned toward me on this unbalanced scale. Suppressing my fury, I stared at the gleaming knife across the room. Castration would happen, just not yet. Wrongdoers deserve punishment, and victims have every right to retaliate. I stopped Ethan's dialing hand, subtly shifting away, forcing a strained smile through revulsion. I said, "I believe you, Ethan, but I want her public apology. At your department's team building this weekend, she apologizes to me before everyone. Refuse, and I'll assume you're protecting her. Then we're done." Ethan grimaced. "You hate those corporate events. How about a private apology? Public humiliation's harsh, especially for..." The protective words stung despite my efforts. Tears threatened as my voice shook with resolve. Then we're breaking up. Fine. Emma will apologize. The following 2 days, Ethan returned unusually early, cooking, cleaning, even trimming dead leaves from my vase flowers during downtime. I teased. Since when do you skip overtime? He smiled and said he applied to work from home to spend more time with me. I didn't expose his lie. Continuing to play with my phone on the couch. My friend said this was typical behavior of a guilty cheater testing boundaries if we let things slide. They'd assume infidelity carried no consequences since we'd never leave them. Then they'd keep taking chances. Continuing their affairs with that false sense of security. Setting down my phone, I casually remarked to Ethan's back. I passed by your office building this afternoon. Ethan's pruning shears froze mid-cut. His slightly slouched posture instantly stiffened, turning with furrowed brows. His voice carried barely concealed irritation. We agreed to handle this during the team-building event. I've already reprimanded her and demanded she keep her distance. Can't you wait 2 more days? How ironic. I'd barely said anything. Yet Ethan reacted like a scalded cat arching its back. If he was this jumpy, why cross the line in the first place? I was just passing by. I said coldly. Why so defensive? Realizing his overreaction, Ethan immediately switched to his placating smile, settling beside me with performative concern. Defensive? Never. I just know how sensitive you are. Didn't want you confronting anyone unprepared. Office politics being what they are, people might side with her if things got messy. Besides, this whole misunderstanding should stay private. No need for public drama, right? His word vomit essentially translated to sweep it under the rug. The planned public apology during the retreat? Cancelled. But I played dumb. Then make sure Emma prepares a proper apology for Sunday. If it's unsatisfactory, I'll happily share my discovery with all the spouses present. Since she's so fond of joking with male colleagues, maybe I'll mention how finding used condoms in your partner's pocket isn't alarming, just workplace camaraderie. Lily! Ethan barked my name, face darkening. First time in our entire relationship he'd done that. For another woman. Tears burned behind my eyelids. But I refused to crumble. Sniffling, I grabbed my purse. Where are you going this late? Ethan called after me, panic seeping into his voice. Manicure with Jessica. Want to join? I didn't turn around. His tone softened. I have work. Text me when you're done. I'll pick you up. As my best friend painted cherry blossom designs on my nails, she asked about my plans. I almost said I'd orchestrate some dramatic downfall like a drama queen protagonist. But the words died in my throat. Who could predict the future? Since discovering Ethan's affair, I'd been swallowing rage like broken glass. Yet emotions have claws, I never know when they'll shred through my carefully constructed calm. The next second, I might shatter my own plans and charge into Ethan's office like a madwoman to drag Emma out for a beating. So I told my best friend, let's play it by ear. She looked at me worriedly. You've always been too soft. If it gets bad, we'll just hire some guys to beat Ethan up for you. I shook my head with a wry smile. No need. I'm gentle, not stupid. Don't worry, I won't let myself get walked over. Truthfully, I did go to Ethan's office building that afternoon. I already knew he'd confronted Emma because I'd been hiding around the corner earlier. My friend and I had just parked when we saw Ethan storm out of a convenience store, dragging a woman in revealing clothes. We silently followed as he yanked her into an alley and slammed her against the wall. Ethan, what the hell's wrong with you? The woman shrieked in pain. He sneered, gripping her chin with icy menace. Emma, who told you to plant those things in my coat? Who said you could post that bullshit online? I made it clear our arrangement stays in the bedroom. I've smoothed things over with Lily this time. But if you pull another stunt in front of her, I'll fucking ruin you. Emma suddenly laughed. Unfazed. She hooked her finger through his tie, pressing her chest against his. How exactly will you ruin me? In bed? He shoved her away. Stop throwing yourself at me. Ignoring him, she nuzzled his ear. Fine. I get it, your precious Lily comes first. I'll behave next time. As she spoke, Emma undid the top buttons of her trench coat, revealing lace beneath. See? I bought this new set just to apologize. And you're being so cruel. Ethan, are you made of stone? Her voice cracked with fake tears. His anger melted into something darker, hungrier. Within seconds, he was kissing her violently, murmuring promises between breaths. Lily's coming to the team building retreat this weekend. You'll apologize publicly. Once she stops suspecting us, I'll make it up to you properly. I nearly lunged at them then. Only my friend's grip and hissed warning to keep recording stopped me. Later, I sobbed in her passenger seat until I gagged. It didn't make sense. Ethan and I had 5 harmonious years. We survived graduation, parental disapproval, even the pandemic. When we both caught COVID, he gave me our last packet of cold medicine and nursed me through his own fever. How could the man who once valued me above his life betray me like this? Men are walking contradictions, my friend said, stroking my hair. He can love you and still cheat. She urged me to cut losses. I know I should end this. But I need answers. Closure for those 5 years. At the department retreat, I was the only significant other who showed up. No need to guess, I knew Ethan had prepped them beforehand. He told me Emma joked around with all the male colleagues in the department. No doubt Ethan had informed everyone about today's apology. These men clearly wanted to avoid drama. Hence no one brought their spouses. They greeted me with smirking Lily remarks that made my skin crawl. I snapped. Lily? Then who's the real Mrs. Carter? You make it sound like Ethan's running a harem. The room froze. After an awkward pause, someone chuckled nervously. Come on. Ethan's always bragged about you at work. We thought Lily sounded friendlier since you're so young. We'll stop if it bothers you. The tension dissolved into forced laughter. Seriously. Ethan wouldn't shut up about you at the office. Dude's obsessed. Another colleague added. And about Emma's incident? Don't take it personally. She's just a loudmouth who crosses lines sometimes. Zero filter. But harmless. Right. A third chimed in. She told us that condom was filled with lotus root powder. We already chewed her out. If you're still pissed, let's have her apologize properly tonight. Their patronizing tones dripped with condescension. I stared across the table at Emma. First I've heard of lilac-flavored lotus root powder. I smiled sweetly. How's that taste? Emma's smirk faltered. Her knuckles whitened against the tablecloth. Fine, I'll apologize. She sloshed red wine into a tumbler, stalking toward me with theatrical flair. My bad for flirting with Ethan. Bottoms up. Male colleagues winced as she guzzled the alcohol. Ethan stood rigid beside me, fists clenched at his sides. When Emma reached for a third glass, he growled, Lily. Enough. She's got stomach issues. I stayed silent. Murmurs erupted. So petty. No wonder Ethan never brought her around. Total embarrassment. Emma kept drinking, shooting Ethan wounded glances with every sip. His jaw tightened further, dress shirt sleeves straining over coiled muscles. As she raised another glass, Ethan grabbed my arm. Lily! She apologized. What more do you want? I intercepted Emma's wrist, snatching the bottle. The room held its breath. That's when Emma flashed me a triumphant sneer, the look screaming see. Lily? You mean nothing to him. That's all it was. None of this mattered anymore. After all, to me now, He was nothing but trash. Ethan probably thought this apology session was over. He pulled me close with a forced smile, oozing fake remorse as he looked at Emma. Emma, I'm truly sorry. Lily's been spoiled rotten. She didn't mean anything by it, she's just upset. Don't take it personally. Emma shook her head, eyes glistening. It's okay. I understand. This was my fault to begin with. If it helps Lily feel better, I'll do anything. She suddenly clutched her mouth, gagging dramatically like she might vomit. Ethan instantly released me. When he rushed toward her, he shoved me aside so hard my back slammed into a serving cart. Scalding soup splattered across my skin. Someone behind me called out to Ethan, but he acted deaf, sweeping Emma into his arms and storming out without so much as a backward glance. How pathetic. I couldn't stop myself from shouting, Ethan! He paused to glare at me, but the moment Emma whimpered, Put me down, Ethan. Don't let Lily misunderstand. His resolve hardened. He glanced between us, then walked away with her. Lily, he said coldly, you're the one who crossed the line today. Emma drank herself sick apologizing to you. You should be thanking her for being gracious. But as her colleague, I can't let this slide. Right. Any lingering affection I'd clung to evaporated. I'd planned to end things civilly after this apology, if Emma had been sincere and Ethan hadn't taken sides. But now? Screw dignity. Ignoring the burning pain on my back, I grabbed the half-empty wine bottle Emma had left. As Ethan carried her through the doorway, I lunged forward and hurled the remaining red wine straight into his face. The liquid dripped from his hair like bloody tears, staining his collar. Emma shrieked, leaping from his arms to charge at me. Lily, you psychotic bitch. 20 years of manners disintegrated. I spun and slapped her so hard she crashed into a table. Then I appended the bottle over her head, drenching her in burgundy. Ethan roared. Have you lost your mind? Yes. I spat, meeting his venomous glare. 5 years. Ethan. We mailed wedding invites. And you cheated? You think I'm some naive child you can lie to? Newsflash, if you want to humiliate me, I'll drag you both down with me. Let's see the whole room judge whether Emma's your little mistress. He froze momentarily before wiping his face, reaching for me with a placating tone. I told you, it was a stupid joke. A misunderstanding. Emma isn't. Save it. I jerked away. You've made your choice. Enjoy your joke. Lily cried. She shouted at Ethan. Ethan. I don't care if you're the department head or team leader at work. This job isn't my only option. After today's mess, even if we clear our names, people will still judge me through distorted lenses. You need to make your girlfriend give me a proper explanation and apology. Ethan avoided direct response, commanding me with authority. Lily, apologize first. We'll discuss the rest later. Cheaters always follow this pattern. They maintain their innocence until confronted with irrefutable proof, then play the victim to guilt-trip their partners. They manipulate the narrative until the betrayed spouse looks hysterical while they stroll off unscathed. Not today. I came to rip off their filthy facade. I shoved Ethan away, slamming a voice recorder on the table. Screw your talk. Listen to this first. Ethan. His confusion turned to horror as I pressed play. The recorder blasted at maximum volume, freezing everyone in the private dining room. Guests exchanged shocked glances, collectively holding their breath. Emma. Who told you to plant those things in my coat? Who authorized those online posts? Didn't I make it clear this was strictly physical? Once I smooth things over with Lily, this ends. If you dare provoke her again, I'll fucking ruin you. How exactly will you ruin me? Between the sheets? Ethan's face cycled through rage, shock, then pathetic remorse. He fumbled with the device as Emma emitted shrill, Panicked screams. Turn it off. Ethan. Shut it off now. I smirked. Forgot to mention this recorder's Bluetooth enabled. Even if you stop it, my best friend Nina can restart it remotely. Realization dawned on Ethan. I'd known everything from the beginning, never trusting his lies. He hurled the recorder into our pickled fish stew, ruining the dish. Lily, you set me up? His voice shook with faux betrayal. I laughed. The adulterer thought he could play victim? My gaze shifted to Emma cowering behind him, face flushed with humiliation. Why the tears? Just a little joke. Not funny? Don't worry, we've got plenty more material. Ethan still shielded Emma, his performative martyrdom nauseating. Baby, let's discuss this privately. Yes, we wronged you, but airing this publicly destroyed our reputations. This illegal recording could get you sued. Please calm down. Staring at the man I'd shared my bed with, I saw a stranger. We're done, Ethan. Unless you want your boss and parents receiving your cheating dossier. Rabbits bite when cornered. Take your groveling elsewhere, I despise pathetic beggars. Get lost. Before leaving, I scanned the room. Under my gaze, every man present dropped their eyes in shame. I sneered. The truth always comes out. If you can't cover your tracks properly, you shouldn't have unzipped your pants in the first place. The recording from that night got leaked into Ethan's company group chat, including the contents from the voice recorder. As the department manager, Ethan only got demoted. But Emma, a regular employee, got terminated. Though Ethan remained at the company, he became the daily gossip target the moment he stepped into the office. Everywhere he went, dozens of eyes followed him, an unbearable existence. Since Ethan was the one who messed up, I made him announce the cancellation of our year-end wedding to family and friends. That was the last shred of dignity I'd allow him. But Ethan refused to break up. He quit his job, started camping outside my apartment begging for forgiveness. At first, he knelt outside my door reminiscing about our happy memories through the wood. When that didn't work, he began delivering daily bouquets, just like when he first pursued me. Every morning, I'd find roses at my doorstep. He'd even detour 30 minutes to buy my favorite soup dumplings from our old college spot. Back then, these gestures made my heart flutter like I'd tasted honey. Now, it felt like being force-fed garbage, utterly revolting. Sometimes I truly don't understand cheaters' mentality. He'd literally shielded Emma right in front of me. I thought he'd immediately move on to her after our split. Instead, he's clinging to me like desperate ivy. Ethan claims his entanglement with Emma was just a momentary weakness. Yeah, right. To this day, he still uses that word, just, as if betraying me was some trivial mishap. As if a half-assed apology could magically erase everything. Do all cheaters share this delusional arrogance? Ethan admitted he initially disliked Emma's type, those women who throw themselves at any available man. He'd tried avoiding her. But then during a department party, Emma lost a drinking game. The dare? Pick any male colleague for a flirty push-up challenge, him doing push-ups over her while she whispered romantic lines. 10 times without stuttering or repeating. That night, Emma immediately chose Ethan, the guy with a girlfriend. He'd meant to refuse. But when some creeps started making lewd comments about Emma, his white knight complex kicked in. Couldn't let a woman get harassed. So he agreed. For 10 agonizing reps, Emma kept gasping "I love you" beneath Ethan's straining body. On the final push-up, his arms gave out. He collapsed onto her. Skin against skin. Heat spiking. And right there in public, Emma felt Ethan's physical reaction, hard and undeniable. Neither of them addressed the elephant in the room during the gathering. They simply lingered behind when everyone else left. What followed was Ethan's growing addiction to crossing boundaries. He claimed to adore my innocent charm while clinging to Emma's fiery passion. After their first transgression, Ethan discovered he could potentially hide this from me forever. One betrayal led to another. Then another. I'll never forget his words when he knelt begging for forgiveness. What I shared with Emma was purely physical. You're the only one I love. We always used protection technically. I never truly betrayed you. My body's still pure. Why can't you give me another chance? Lily? My response? I slapped him across the face. Coldly. I uploaded all evidence of his infidelity to the Carter family group chat. Cheating is cheating, no justification exists. Now Ethan kneels outside my door daily. Emma's here too, waving a positive pregnancy test. The irony stings. His claims of always using protection shattered within hours. Their shouting match escalates outside. Ethan denies paternity. Sobbing at my feet, Lily. I swear on my life we used condoms every time. This can't be mine. Since that company retreat, their scandal exploded online. Emma's social media records of their affair went viral. Internet sleuths doxed her completely real name, address, family details exposed. Her relatives disowned her in shame. Our company sued both for reputational damage. Now homeless and facing legal battles. Emma's desperate. Hearing Ethan's denials, she lunges at him screaming, "You lying bastard. Who begged to go bareback every time we fucked? Now you'll abandon your own child?" Ethan slams her against the wall. "You're the one spreading your legs and begging for it raw. You ruined everything between me and Lily. God knows how many men you've slept with. That bastard could be anyone's." Their childish insults escalate until I video call Ethan's parents. The Carters arrive swiftly. Mr. Carter, the retired Marine who values honor above all, backhands his son hard enough to snap his head sideways. Mrs. Carter tries dragging Ethan away as he claws at my doorframe. "Mom. Dad. I've changed. Lily still loves me. I know she'll forgive me if I keep trying." He switches to clutching my legs. Tears soaking my pants. "Please. Lily. Give us another chance." The stench of desperation hangs thick as Emma's pregnancy test flutters to the ground between us. "Darling. I know I messed up. I swear I'll never do it again. Please forgive me this once." Ethan's parents sighed, turning away in shame, though I knew they wanted me to pardon him. I kicked Ethan away in disgust. Meeting his devastated expression, I said coldly, "Let's end this. Ethan. Stop making scenes." "Why?" he roared. "Why won't you give me one chance to redeem myself?" Closing my eyes, I sighed. "Because I'm afraid of catching diseases. You disgust me. Get it? You're filthy." "Ethan." He staggered up, laughing bitterly. "Filthy, ha. Lily says I'm filthy." "Yes. I'm trash." He bolted downstairs. Mr. and Mrs. Carter bowed deeply, apologizing for their son. I simply smiled and closed the door. At the last moment, Emma blocked it. "Are you really abandoning Ethan?" she demanded. "Exactly. He's yours now." Emma's child was indeed Ethan's. Their marriage turned bitter. Hearing about Ethan's life now left me indifferent. Their son was born with a blood disorder draining Ethan's savings. Emma forced the Carters to empty their retirement fund. Ethan wanted the mistake child dead. During their fight, he stormed to a bar where Emma found him flirting with a hostess. She smashed a bottle on his head. When Ethan filed for divorce, Emma drugged him and severed his manhood. Months later at the hospital where I accompanied my sprained-ankled father, Ethan cringed seeing me. "Karma's a bitch," he grimaced. I watched his remorseful face silently. Some wounds defy consolation. During those initial days after the breakup, I wore a mask of strength. Yet every night found me crying myself to sleep. No one witnessed how I survived that darkness. "So Ethan, you brought this fate upon yourself." "Lily, let's go," my mother called from behind, supporting my father. I turned with a smile. "Coming." As I walked away, I noticed Ethan's lips tremble as if forming words meant for me. I had no intention of staying to hear them. Sprinting toward my parents through the amber sunset glow, I felt liberation's breeze whisper across my face. Faint words resembling an apology reached me, but they meant nothing now. The man had broken Lily who loved him fiercely. That girl no longer existed. Present-day Lily required no apologies from him. Nor would I speak forgiveness on behalf of my former self. Our paths diverged here. May we both find peace beyond this crossroads.